Welcome back to What Do They Know podcast. This week, the guys discuss whether it's time for a QB change in Cleveland, and Nick will tell you why he's very confused with a few teams. But hey, what do they know?
What do they know? Well, we are about to find out. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to week 8 on the What Do They Know podcast. Nick and Jeff back with you as always. Sir, how you doing?
I'm doing just swell, 1-7. I mean, you guys finally reached us. Look at you all jetsed out and decked
The
out.
only week I'm going to be able to do this, probably. Actually, technically, I could do it next week, too, because they're on bye.
Celebrate galore.
Next week, you guys are getting more Jet stuff.
I'm going to take advantage of it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They are going to not lose 2 weeks in a row.
Look at that. That's improvement if I've ever seen it.
I know. Tell you what, I told you this earlier, and I told my wife this morning, I did not realize how badly I wanted them to win. Like, I was in such a good mood yesterday. Woke up this morning, took my Jets coffee mug out to have some coffee, just in such a phenomenal mood. And I know it doesn't mean anything. They're a horrible team. They're probably getting ready to have a fire sale and trade everybody at the deadline, including Breece Hall, which is why I wore his jersey today.
Yep.
Plus, he had 3 touchdowns yesterday, 2 rushing and 1 passing, by the way. So that's why I decided to break out the Breece Hall jersey tonight, and also this could be our last ride.
Yeah, the trade value's gone up.
Sky high. Now is the time to get rid of them.
Sell.
Yeah.
Sell.
So,
Yep.
But dude, mentally, just finally getting a win, I was like ecstatic yesterday.
Was there like a thought in your mind that you guys might go winless?
100%.
Yeah.
I found another podcast that I was watching, and there's a Jets fan on that podcast too, and they went through every single game, and all of them were like, "That's an L." They went through the whole season. They said winnable games.
Yeah.
Cleveland after the bye, and then home at Miami, which by then everybody's like, well, they could be starting Quinn Ewers by then. But those are the only 2 winnable games that they said they had a shot at, but neither of them said they were actually going to win. Everybody was like, no, they're gonna go winless.
They didn't even think about the Saints game?
No, they said the Saints was an L.
Really?
Yeah. Which prior to yesterday, I kind of would have agreed. Now they're going to go 10-7. No, they're not going to lose. They're going to run the table, man. Playoffs. Aaron Glennon, we trust.
Lifetime extension, here we come.
Dude, I just was so happy yesterday. Like, we were at my in-laws, and so I was watching the game on my phone, and nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows the score around me. Everybody knows I'm just watching the game. And and when they finally took the lead, I like slammed my hand on the couch and like clapped, and everybody looked at me like they thought something bad happened.
Right.
I go, we might actually win one. And then the worst part, it was just so pathetic, but it was hilarious. When they finally won, I go, guys, they actually won. Everybody gave me a round of applause.
Yep. Way to go.
Everybody clapped.
Yep.
Like, you poor, pathetic loser. It's week 8 and your team just won for the first time.
Man, I sent you and your dad a message in the
Yeah, you
group.
did. Yeah.
I was like, welcome to the win column, guys.
Oh gosh, it was so nice.
Yeah.
It was refreshing. So I'm feeling energized tonight.
Yeah, I'm feeling happy for you.
All right.
Yep.
So I'm gonna kick it off if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
All right. So kind of switching gears here, a little bit of a somber note.
Yeah.
We lost one of my favorite Jets yesterday, and so that I wanted to take some time to talk about him. Nick Mangold, first round pick from the Jets back in 2006, was a cornerstone of their team. Any good Jets memory I have has Nick Mangold in it, which honestly is very few, right? 2009, 2010, those AFC Championship runs.
Yep.
He was an integral part in the number 1 rush in 2009, and I think they were top 5 in 2010 as well. What people forget about him, so he was a first round pick, obviously coming from Ohio State, but he had to come in and he immediately replaced Kevin Mawai, who was an all-pro. He's in the Hall of Fame center, and everybody was like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? And Nick Mangold literally came in week 1 of his rookie season and took over, and like the rest is history. I mean, he played through pain. He was first team All-Pro in 2009, 2010, inducted into the Jets Ring of Honor in 2022. I mean, Jets Twitter yesterday was just a wave of emotions.
Right.
I saw a guy who I follow. He live streams the games, and obviously he's our age, so old enough to remember Mangold. And when they won, dude, he was like crying. Just super emotional, saying, this one's for Nick. I don't know if you saw this, but Breece Hall averaged 7.4 yards per carry yesterday, which Nick Mangold's number was 74, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, just ton of emotions yesterday. I mean, everybody knew that he was battling a kidney disease. He put out a very lengthy social media post a couple weeks ago, basically asking anybody and everybody, like, if you have a kidney. I think he had a rare blood type, if I remember correctly. I think that was the issue, that nobody in his family was able or was eligible to be his donor. And so he put out a post to literally the entire country asking for a kidney. And they called it complications. So I don't know if, I mean, it sounds like everybody knew he was sick, but I don't think it was supposed to escalate as quickly as it did.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but I was shocked yesterday when I saw that. Absolutely shocked. I mean, it's crazy. He was 41 years old, has a wife, has multiple kids, young kids. So super sad, super sad for the Jets community. Everybody says he's a sure thing Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You know, I would have loved for him to be around to get into the Hall of Fame. I'm really glad the Jets, put him back in the Ring of Honor back in 22, and now everybody's saying, Olu Fashanu has his number currently. And everybody's, was like, hey, dude, you need to change your number. They need to retire that number ASAP. So
right.
I have jokingly was talking with my dad yesterday. I said, maybe this will help them be inspired and actually look like a real football team.
Right.
And I mean, that's what happened. Nick Folk, who's actually a kicker for the Jets now, played with him back then. That's how old Nick Folk is. And I guess had a pretty emotional post-game speech, and, everybody was super emotional afterwards. So tough day yesterday. Obviously ended on a high note with a win, but, sad to see one of my favorite players go pretty unexpectedly.
Right. Yeah. As a casual viewer, obviously seeing my fair share of Jets games alongside you, Nick Mangold was definitely a staple for the Jets when we were going through high school and then college. I mean, he and Rex Ryan were the two, I guess, faces of the franchise for me, because obviously Mark Sanchez had his little stint there. Darrelle Revis was the best corner for a year or two, and they're in New York. But Nick Mangold was that staple for the Jets franchise for a very long time. And I mean, he was as big of a face as an offensive lineman can be for a franchise. He was just rock solid, just always there, and you knew you could rely on him for any sort of play call that you wanted to call, run play, pass protection. He was a do-it-all kind of center. And yeah, for me, he's a shoe-in Hall of Famer. That's not a question. That's not a doubt in my mind. But yeah, it's sad to see that players that we grew up watching are moving on, and I mean, it's part of life and it happens, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt any less for anyone, especially the families involved. So for me, yeah, as a casual viewer, it is sad to see. Obviously, I saw the Rex Ryan segment yesterday where they broke the news. That was heartbreaking to watch. But yeah, I mean, our thoughts are with Nick Mangold's family, because that's at 41, age 41. That's less than a decade than us, and that's crazy to me.
That's the crazy part for me, is like, I feel like sports fans kind of look at pro athletes almost as like invincible, right? And for a guy who, a big beefy dude, strong as crap, you have to be to play offensive line, right?
Yeah.
To go at 41 when you and I are sitting here, I mean, how old are we? 32.
32.
So he's not much older than us.
Yeah.
And to go unexpectedly like that is just kind of crazy. Kind of a similar reaction is like I remember vividly, like when Kobe Bryant died. It's like, dude, if Kobe Bryant can die,
yeah,
anybody,
right.
You know what I mean? That's just the crazy part that puts life in perspective. And I really liked the stories that, like you said, Rex Ryan shared a story about him, about how, it was his last game. He knew he was going to get fired, and Mangold was banged up and shouldn't have played. And he came up to Rex and goes, dude, I'm playing this game, and I'm playing for you.
Right.
And then, Damian Woody this morning on Get Up, Willie Colon on SNY, both, played offensive line with Mangold, called him a brother, just said what a good dude he is. We all know he's a phenomenal player, but it was just a good solid dude.
Yeah.
So he'll be missed for sure.
Absolutely.
So my second top story is just, I have just several teams that I'm very confused with. And so I wrote them down. I wrote the records, and then obviously their performances this week. And I just want to kind of go through them and get your input, because these teams, I feel like one week where we know what they are, and then something different happens, and it just throws me off. So number one, probably the biggest one for me is Dallas. So they're now 3-4-1. We talked about them last week, how we both called them a dangerous team, and they lost 44-24 to Denver. Just absolutely got beat up. The score, it wasn't even that close, to be honest with you.
Right.
And so I don't really know what to make of this team. Like I said, we both kind of thought they were a playoff team, and they got completely worked yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those times where Denver's kind of hitting their stride right now. They've pulled off a couple of nail biters, I suppose, because just due to inefficiency within the first half or the first three quarters. Obviously, they scored those 33 points in the fourth quarter last week. I feel like Denver is just on a very high horse right now. No pun intended. But Dallas, I feel like they just came upon a storm. I'm not too focused on this result against Denver. I'm curious to see how they'll perform within their division, like the Giants or the Commanders or the Eagles. I think that's where they're going to have to make up their ground. But overall, I feel like this lines up how I thought Dallas was going to play. I didn't think Dallas was going to win this game, to be honest with you. So to me, this wasn't really a head scratcher result for me. But yeah, Dallas is just one of those teams where they're going to have to outscore their opponents. But if their opponents has a solid defense like the Denver Broncos do, they're going to run into some problems.
Yeah, this is one of those examples where it seems like a good defense always beats a good offense.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, the Texans. We're talking about this team as a disaster the first 2 or 3, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And they had a really dominant win over San Francisco yesterday, 26-15. It puts them at 3-4. They're coming off a Monday night loss to Seattle. So they had a short week. They came home and played a very good San Fran team. I think for me, the biggest takeaway for them is that we're not talking enough about how good the Texans defense is.
Yeah. No, I mean, yesterday, Houston didn't allow any sacks, and that's always been their biggest issue is their offensive line with C.J. Stroud, and that's kind of where we see the regression with C.J. Stroud. He just doesn't have time in the pocket to really go through the motions and be an actual quarterback. But with San Francisco being beat up with Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, those are starting to add up and starting to show in the tape especially. I mean, when you can't really pressure C.J. Stroud, you got problems because that has been the biggest issue with Houston is their offensive line. They've allowed 15 sacks over the first 6 games, and to not even have, I think they touched them like 6 times, no sacks. You need pass rush at this point. And San Francisco, yes, they're a good team, and they defeated some. They had some nice squeaky wins early in the season, but at this point, I'm starting to worry about San Francisco through the injury-related front. But if Houston, as long as they can keep C.J. Stroud clean, I mean, they didn't have Nico Collins.
That's what I was just gonna say. They have a patch job at running back.
Yeah.
They have Nick Chubb, Willie Marks, whatever his name is. No Nico Collins, no Tank Dell for the whole season. Their 2 rookies were the most productive for them yesterday.
Yeah.
I was really surprised by this outcome. I know you picked the Niners as your upset, right? Because they were, Texans were favored by 1.5 or whatever it was. And I guess that shows what we know. But I would have taken that game had you not taken it earlier. Like I was convinced that the Niners were going to win this game.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the Texans are a confusing team. It just depends how much they can protect C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud clearly showed that he's still the dominant force that he can be, that he showed during his rookie season. I think he went 30 for 39. I mean, what more could you ask for from C.J. Stroud from your quarterback? But yeah, San Francisco overall, they're starting to look a little shaky to me.
Yeah, the injuries I think are finally catching up to him. And then the last one for me, which maybe is the biggest head scratcher, is the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah,
dude, they Monday Night Football look like a completely dominant team against the Bills. They're finally going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then they just got the doors blown off of them, 34-10 by the Dolphins.
The
Dolphins, arguably one of the worst teams in the league. Mike McDaniel's going to get fired any minute.
Yeah.
And Tua's going to get benched any minute. And they lose. I mean, here's the thing. Everybody's going to fall back on, they started a backup quarterback. Kirk Cousins isn't your average backup. Right. They should be you should feel very, very comfortable with what you have in Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm not really fallen back on that. Like, this is a game they should have won at home, by the way, against a Dolphins team that was just absolutely reeling.
Yeah, no, there's no excuse here. Atlanta is just one of those enigmas of a team, to be honest with you. I mean, they've lost to they were one of the wins from San Francisco early in the year. They lost to Miami, and they have another horrible
Blown out by Carolina.
blown out by Carolina. That was the other horrible loss. I don't even know what to make of it, to be honest with you. Atlanta is just one of those teams where I honestly don't even know where to begin, to be honest with you.
It's an inexcusable loss.
Yeah,
It really is.
I mean, I look back at that Carolina blowout, and I remember describing Michael Penix Jr. as a left-handed quarterback. He looked like a right-handed quarterback throwing left-handed. He just looked atrocious that game. But then you have this game where Bijan Robinson had like 9 carries. 9 carries. That's your focal point. I know he had a crucial fumble early in the third quarter when they were trying to get back into the game. I think they were down like a 17-3 or something. But to me, even if he has a fumble, that's still your guy. Especially if there's no Drake London, and your number one receiver is Kyle Pitts right now. You have to focus on Bijan Robinson. You feed him the rock, regardless of the outcome. If you lose, at least you lose with your best player with the ball. But yeah, Kirk Cousins, I don't think that's an excuse. I can't really see much of a fall off from Michael Penix to Kirk Cousins, to be honest with you. But I mean, maybe it's also showing why Kirk Cousins is a backup these days rather than a starter. So I mean, it's rough for Atlanta right now. I just don't understand what's going on. To me, it's coaching. It has to be, because there's no other reason the outcomes of these games are happening the way that they are. They should not be getting blown out by Miami.
And it's just so crazy when they looked like such a dominant team against the Bills.
Yeah,
Like, that was only 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
You know,
I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah, very confusing.
Yep.
So I'm just very confused by all 3 of those teams, and I don't know what to make of them. So I guess, only time will tell. But
Right.
those 3 teams, I just cannot figure out.
Right.
So what do you got this week?
So my top story is the Cleveland Browns. I'm
Never good when we start with Cleveland.
No, it's not. I try to share the love a little bit, go around the league a little bit, try to talk about every team. Cleveland, there's not much to talk about besides Myles Garrett. Because
I got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about with Myles Garrett, but go ahead.
All right. But, I mean, he had 5 sacks yesterday. Now, that was a franchise record, and a franchise record against New England as well. And that's the most any single player has gotten against New England in their history. So that brings Myles Garrett up to 10 on the year with, 8 games to go, 9 games to go. Regardless, this is a man on track to win Defensive Player of the Year again. He won it 2 years ago in 23, and back then he only had 14 sacks when he won it. So this year he's on pace to surpass that and surpass his career high of 16. But to me, the biggest thing was the frustration he showed on the sideline. Dillon Gabriel is.
He's not the guy.
He's not the guy. He's proving to be not the guy.
I mean, Damian Woody said it great this morning. Like, the Browns quarterback next year is not on their roster.
Oof.
And I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, unless, right? We don't know what we don't know. So do they throw Shador in there?
Mm-hmm. I think it might be time, or it's getting close to being time. I believe they're on bye next week. So
Then they come back and play the Jets.
Yes, I believe Stefanski already said that Gabriel will be the quarterback. After
Oh,
that.
good.
I believe so. Good. Well, that's goes to show what Nick thinks about Gabriel right there. But I mean, 21 for 35, 156 yards. That's terrible. 2 TDs, 2 INTs.
That's terrible. He goes, that's terrible.
That's terrible. I mean, he's averaging 4.9 yards per attempt, which is last in the NFL. That's not a recipe for success. Jerry Judy's just nowhere to be found. I mean, I feel like he was injured, but I mean, through the first half of the year, I mean, he had a career year almost last year. I think he had over 1,000 yards receiving. This year, he's nowhere near that. So I'm just curious right now whether that's everything is just lining up for Shedeur to take over the reins. Whether that's for the last 6 games, the last 8 games, I'm not sure. But I think time is ticking for Dylan Gabriel and for Stefanski to make that move.
Yeah, I don't know why they haven't made the move already, to be honest. Like, unless, we're not in practice every day, unless he is just god awful.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you have to lose at this point?
Yeah.
You drafted the guy. Why not? Why
Right.
not see what you have?
Right.
There's no downside. There's literally no downside.
Right.
Right. I mean, short of the circus that comes with being Deion Sanders' kid, that's it. You got to deal with a little bit of media attention. Throw him in there, see if he has any spark whatsoever, because Gabriel's not the dude.
Right.
They traded Joe Flacco. Deshaun Watson probably will never play in the NFL again. I don't know if he'll play another snap for Cleveland.
Probably not.
I mean, what do you got to lose at this point?
Right.
Stefanski, what do you got to lose, dude? He must not know he's on my list for a hot seat from last week.
He's got to pull up Brian Dable right now and just pull the trigger.
Agree.
Absolutely. To me, I agree with you. What worries me is that quote that you just pulled out about the next year's quarterback for Cleveland not being on the roster. Because what's Cleveland going to do? Are they going to draft another quarterback? I feel like all of a sudden you're just wasting draft picks on quarterbacks because
I think the GM needs to be fired.
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't know where you go from here if you're Cleveland. Are you a quarterback away? I'm not sure.
No.
I don't believe so, but
they have a stud defensive end.
Yeah.
They have a stud running back.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Judkins.
Yeah.
Yep.
Quinshon Judkins is a beast.
Yep. So it's a team that needs a total rebuild.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
so I really want to touch on the Myles Garrett of it all.
okay.
Because I saw the frustration. I saw the helmet throw. Mm-hmm. And I have zero sympathy for him. Zero. When you go through the circus of demanding a trade and say you are never going to play here again, this, that, and the other, and then they throw a bag of money at you and you're like, you know what? All my problems are gone.
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
If you suck, if your team sucks, I don't feel sorry for you.
Right.
Because you knew that this was going to happen.
Right.
That's why you tried to get out and you took money over winning.
Right.
You took money over success, over team success, over feeling good about as a team.
Yeah.
He might have the best year of his career. They're going to win less than 4 games.
That's very realistic, right?
I mean, so dude, throw your helmet. I don't feel bad for you. You knew this is what was going to happen, and you were okay with getting paid $40 million a year to suck. For me, I like it. It almost pisses me off, honestly. Like when it'd be one thing if he hadn't done what he did in the offseason, and he's like, man, I need to get out of here.
Right.
But dude, how can he say that when he just signed?
Right.
When he already did that, and he decided to stay because they gave him a ton of money.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line between loyalty to the franchise and demanding a trade and doing 180 because they threw the bag at you. But yeah, Myles Garrett, heck of a player. He's on pace to be one of the best defensive players of his generation, really.
And he's gonna be wasted.
And it's going to be all for naught in Cleveland, and that's the sad part of it all. Because by the time this contract ends, I don't know what sort of player he's going to be at that point. Whether he's going to be the difference maker that he is now. I mean, it is sad to see the talent being wasted. At the same time, Myles Garrett kind of did it to himself at this point.
100%.
So yeah,
Sorry, buddy.
sorry, buddy. But yeah, that's Cleveland. That's Cleveland for you. It's hard to talk about, but I mean, it does need to get talked about. And then my second one was, it aligned with yours. I had Kirk Cousins in general.
Okay.
I'm starting to think whether it's too late now for Atlanta to really get any value out of him in terms of the trade because of this one performance. 21-31 for 173 yards. I mean, that's not going to knock down any doors for any contenders to come say, hey, we're a quarterback away. We want Kirk Cousins starting for our football team. I mean, yes, there's no Drake London. It's like I said, they still had Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts. Whether that's enough, one can argue for or against. But like I said, not getting Bijan involved into the game plan,
It's inexcusable.
yeah, there's no way to talk yourself out of that, and I don't understand exactly where Atlanta is trying to do or where they're trying to go, because I feel like even they don't know, to be honest with you, and it's like 1 week they're a Bijan Robinson team, and the next week they're like a Michael Penix team, and somehow there's just no fluidity in terms of this team right now, and unfortunately for Kirk Cousins, he's a man trapped, I feel like, because obviously the team has moved on into the Michael Penix era, and you got your one shot to kind of start, and you kind of throw up a dud. I don't know where you go from here if you're Kirk Cousins or Atlanta. Do you trade him for, say, maybe
seventh rounder?
Yeah, a very late round pick. And if you're Kirk Cousins, where exactly are you going? Are you going somewhere else just to be a backup again? Or are you being given a legitimate shot to start somewhere? To me, it's rough for all sides, but Kirk Cousins did himself no favors in this outing right here.
At the same time, but what team is that right now? Like what team would make that trade? Let's take a flyer.
Minnesota. Bring him back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they'll never say this. Side note, they have zero confidence in JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, probably not.
I think that they are completely regretting how they handled that whole situation.
Right.
Minnesota makes a lot of sense, especially now after the news today that Carson Wentz is out for the year with shoulder surgery.
Right.
So maybe that makes a ton of sense. Who knows? I think that, I don't know him, but I feel like Cousins and his family would jump at the opportunity to go back to Minnesota.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like that's the one place where Kirk Cousins might get right mentally.
Yeah, I was going to say, before you said Minnesota, the only other option for me, off the top of my head, is the team we just talked about with Cleveland.
Yeah, bring someone in. I'd be surprised if Cleveland would do that, because they just traded away Joe Flacco.
That's true.
Going
That's
from one
true.
veteran quarterback to another veteran quarterback, I don't see the logic in that one, but to me, Minnesota makes the most perfect sense to me.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there.
Woo! Look at me. But that's it for my top stories.
Okay. You got anything on the trade deadline?
Trade deadline. Saints are selling.
Dude, I keep hearing the Jets are not going to have any players after the trade deadline because they're trading everybody.
I feel like that's what we always hear. The NFL trade deadline
It's so
is
boring. It's so boring.
It's one of the most over exaggerated, but honestly simplified things in terms of any, because the baseball is the most. I take that back. The NBA trade deadline is the most intricate, weird one because of cap and how the money works in that league. It makes no sense to me, but MLB in terms of prospects and all that, that's where it gets fascinating to me. But in terms of the NFL, rarely do you see a player for player swap, to be honest with you. It's always player for picks for the NFL draft, so it kind of takes away the surprise and the excitement, especially if you're selling, because you don't know what you're getting until the NFL draft. But for me, all I know is the Saints are looking to trade away some of the receivers, and that's basically it. Rashid Shaheed and Brandon Cooks. Apparently not so much Chris Olave, but we'll see.
I feel like Olave is the one to get the most value for.
Yeah. Well, I heard they're trying to work out a long-term extension with him. So whether that happens or not,
Does he know that?
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I keep hearing the Jets are going to trade Breece Hall, Quinnen Williams, their defensive tackle, Quincy Williams, the brother, Michael Carter, their slot corner, who they just paid 2 years ago, big money. Pretty much everybody except Sauce and Garrett Wilson, who they just extended.
Okay.
Is allegedly on the table. I don't know, man. You got to have a team. You got to
Right.
at least put butts in seats. And if you trade Breece Hall, your legitimate only running back, your defensive tackle, your face of the franchise for the last couple years,
Right.
Who knows what they're gonna do? But I'm kind of hoping. Jermaine Johnson was another big name, their defensive end, who is having a good year. He coming off an Achilles last year. But he put out a tweet. It was the meme or the GIF from Wolf of Wall Street where he says, "I'm not leaving." And he was asked about that, and he said it's because him and the front office are on the same page, and he's valued and he's wanted here. So everybody, based off of that, thinks that he's not getting moved. I really hope he doesn't.
Cleveland sounds nice.
No, don't go to Cleveland.
Don't go to Cleveland.
Cleveland. You know what I keep hearing? Side note, kind of related, but not. Is a lot of people are saying, why don't the Jets take a flyer on Shador?
Ooh.
Why not?
I feel like any fan base is really speculating throwing that out. Like if Cleveland's not going to give him the shot, might as well.
Why not?
Yeah. Might as well trade him away.
The Saints.
Yeah.
The Jets. I mean, take your pick, man.
Take your pick.
All right. Overreactions.
Yeah, you stole my thunder with another one. So
I did?
I had the 49ers as an overreaction.
Okay.
Because I put 49ers need to trade all their picks for help anywhere. Because right now they're lacking, like we talked about. They didn't get any sacks on a very vulnerable offensive line. Ayuk is nowhere to be found.
Dude.
That guy's... Who knows if he's even in America right now? But,
He was at the ASU game 2 weeks ago.
was he?
Yeah, because he went to ASU. He was at,
Yeah.
he was at the Texas Tech game.
Ooh, okay. Well, at least we have a face.
Healthy enough to travel, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. So, but yeah, I feel like San Francisco, if they want to salvage the season or have any positive, outcome. I mean, they're 5-3 right now.
They're in a really competitive division.
Yeah, that's the problem. What do you do when you have the Rams and the Seahawks in your division? Two teams that are presumably going to make the playoffs. You're probably looking at being the third team coming out of the division. So that's another wild card that you're kind of looking for. To me, it puts them in a really, really in a dark place, especially if Purdy is out for any longer. To be honest with you, Mac Jones, how long can you survive on Mac Jones and the receivers that you have right now? I mean, are you going to trust Christian McCaffrey to carry you into the playoffs and then do anything in the playoffs with just him? To me, it's hard to be a Niner front office personnel right now because I wouldn't even know what to do. Do you buy in? Do you go all in and say, hey, we're going to go for it? Or, do you start building for next year? Honestly, if they want to remain competitive, they got to start trading some stuff.
Yeah, Lynch has his work cut out for him.
Yeah.
I think, at what are they, 5-3?
5-3 now.
They can't not continue this season like they're going to try and make a push. You know what I mean? Like they can't bow out at 5-3.
Yeah. What message is that sending to your fan base?
The fans would have a mutiny, and it's just not. I mean, you'd lose your job as a GM, right? If you start selling away. But I do think. But what pieces do they need? They need everything. That's the tough part.
Yeah.
Is like you can't just single out like, oh, we need a receiver. Nope. You need a defensive end.
Nope.
You need multiple receivers. I mean, it's
linebacker for Fred Warner.
Yeah. It's a tough deal. The amount of injuries that the Niners have year after year after year is dumbfounding, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, do you need to fire the training staff? Like, what is going on?
Yep.
So, it's tough.
Yeah, get the medical staff out of here. Well, second overreaction is, and you're going to slap me for this, and I deserve it. James Cook is the Bills' real MVP.
Oof, that's a good one. That's really good. I like that one a lot.
Do you? Perfect. Well, he had 19 rushes, 19 attempts for 216 yards, 2 TDs. Two of them were one of them was for 21 yards. The other one was for 64 yarder. I mean, Josh Allen, 12 for 19, didn't have to do much, obviously. 163 yards, 1 TD. He ran for 2, which easily probably could have gone to Cook, if they really wanted to.
They were both 1 yard sneaks.
Yep, 1 yard sneaks. So to me, I feel like the Bills go as James Cooks goes. So I love Josh Allen as much as the next guy. I think he's a top probably 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's just one of those things where I feel like we've seen the Bills with Josh Allen being MVP Josh Allen, and they've come up short every time. So I feel like they kind of need to redefine the persona of what exactly you want to be as a team. And I feel like James Cooks is the way to go, to be honest with you. I feel like he should be the real MVP for that team.
Yeah. I love that. I don't think that that's a bad take. I think that the most underrated part of the Bills is their offensive line.
Yeah.
Not only do they create gaping, I mean, the holes that James Cook had yesterday were stupid. So, they do that, but they always keep Josh Allen upright.
Yeah.
Like, the offensive line is so good. Deion Dawkins, I hate the dude. I want to punch him in his face, but he's an amazing left tackle.
Right.
Connor McGovern, take your pick. You know, their right guard, I can't think of his name. They have a phenomenal offensive line. So I think that goes hand in hand with James Cook having a great year. And it's funny that, you know, he had such a good game yesterday. You know, you're saying he's such a big part, which I agree with. It makes the games like Atlanta very staggering, where Cooks was a non-factor.
Exactly. I feel like there's a correlation there where if James Cook is shut down, I just don't think they have the receiver talent to outscore you in that facet. Because, I mean, are you going to rely on Khalil Shakir to, you know, be your number one receiver through the playoffs? I find that hard to believe that's going to be a winning formula come January, to be honest. So to me, they're going to have a run game. They're going to have to control the clock, especially with Ed Oliver hitting IR.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. That's a big deal.
Yep.
Biceps injury.
Yep, torn biceps. They're stud defensive tackle. That's a big
That's
loss.
the whole season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's gone for the year. So I feel like it's going to come down to really controlling the clock and controlling momentum, and how you dictate how the game unfolds. But James Cook is the one who you should rely on, because as much as I love Josh Allen, I just don't think he has the personnel wide receiver wise to really carry you into January and be like, hey, I got you guys. Maybe for a drive, for a game-winning drive, but
or maybe even like a wild card round.
Yeah,
like, you know, you can get away wild card round, but like when you get into the tough teams like the Kansas Cities, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth with the receivers, because Atlanta really exposed what Buffalo could potentially be when they're playing a good defense that has good corners.
Yeah.
Because how many times did Louis Riddick and Dan Orlovsky on that game, when they were broadcasting, saying the receivers are getting zero separation?
Yeah.
There's nobody to throw to.
Right.
So to your point, I think you're making a great point about the potential issues that if Buffalo gets slowed down in January, it's going to be because of the lack of receiver depth, or not even depth, the lack of ability to create separation and get open and make big plays.
Yeah, the drop off from Shakir to their number two receiver, which Keon Coleman is like the Grand Canyon, to be honest with you. Keon Coleman has just not panned out the way I feel like Bills fans would have hoped.
So far, I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, yep, that's my second overreaction.
I love that one.
Perfect.
All right. Cam Ward is a bust.
Cam Ward is a bust.
8 games in, or 7 games in. No, 8 games in. I'm calling it on Cam Ward. So I've watched a good amount of him. I watched a lot of him yesterday against the Colts, and there is just zero offensive flow to that team. They look horrible. So I'll rattle you off some stats and where he sits in the league. So he's 16th in yards.
Okay.
1,615 yards. He's 30th in touchdowns with 5. He's 33rd. Mind you, there's only 32 NFL teams. So he's 33rd in QBR. So that means a backup quarterback has a better QBR with him at 25.6. And he's got 5 picks and 5 fumbles lost. 10 turnovers, which is tied with Tua. And he's yelling at his coach on the sideline already.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're a rookie.
Right.
So I'm just not impressed with him. Like, it's 8 games in. I know this is probably a drastic overreaction. But he's got great arm talent, and that's about all I can say. He's not making plays. I don't see him making plays with his legs. He's got decent talent. He's got Calvin Ridley. He's got Tony Pollard. He's got Spears. Like, it's the most boring offense, and that's a Jets fan saying that. So I am just not impressed.
Right.
And we were high on him in the preseason.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, all the intangibles you hear about him, the accolades, what a hard worker he is, this, that, and the other. That all might be true, but it's got to translate. And he hasn't had the best start. Right. He lost his head coach. He's dealing with an interim coach. That's not a recipe for success. We already talked about why this is, great quarterback prospects get ruined because of poor front office play and head coaching, situations like this. But,
right.
It's still, you still got to be able to see something. And I just haven't seen it.
Nothing, huh? Yeah. And I mean, this sort of stuff kind of forces the front office's hands into who they hire as their next head coach. I feel like they always go for the offensive mind or quarterback guru, just especially with the young quarterback, because that's their focal point. That's what they want to improve the most, instead of the rest of the team. Their defense or anything regarding. Besides their quarterback, I feel like the development of the quarterback is the number one reason they go. Like, to me, honestly, next year, whoever the top offensive mind is, coaching wise, I feel like that's who the Titans are going to go after. I'd be very
Joe Brady in Buffalo.
Okay,
That's my pick.
I can see that. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if they go defensive minded coach again. Obviously that hasn't panned out too well for Tennessee, but you have a young quarterback in Cam Warren. Obviously you just used your number 1 overall pick on him. Yeah, you're gonna have to make the value stand for at least another year or two before you can even think really about moving on. I mean, obviously we saw the closest I've seen is Carolina with Bryce Young. They almost moved on from him a year and a half in. So I think we're still overshooting our barrels on this one, but I'd be interested to see what Cam Ward does with an actual offensive minded QB sort of background coach, because Cam Ward, yes, he has the talent. But like you said, the scheme is just not there.
There is no scheme.
Exactly.
There is no scheme. It's horrible. It is hard to watch.
I think their offensive line is very lackluster as well. I can't remember when it was, but I feel like he's one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league as well. And so some of it has to point to the rest of your team has to pick up the slack, especially the offensive line. If your offensive line is not giving you time, there's only so much a young quarterback that is not there processing wise ready yet in terms of experience. There's only so much you can do, because honestly at that point you're just looking for your number 1 receiver, and you're just hauling it at that point. And obviously the numbers don't usually look good when you're doing that. But I'd be curious to see going into year 2 what Cam Ward looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want a guy to be a bust after 8 games.
Especially Tennessee. Tennessee has not had a winner for very long.
Don't talk to me about that.
Tennessee?
I got no sympathy. Jets haven't had a winner for a very long time. Speaking of which, great transition. Woody Johnson, you are the worst owner in the entire NFL.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I'm sorry. In sports.
Oh.
You are the worst owner in all of sports, and I want you to sell the team. You need to sell the team. I'm so done with this dude. He's like a poor man's Jerry Jones. He is.
I feel like he tries to be.
Dude, he tries to be, but your team's just not good enough. Your team's not relevant enough. Shut up, dude. Mm-hmm. So, besides the absolutely stupid comments he had last week, I'll get into that in a second. Mm-hmm. They're just not good. Right. He even said it. Someone asked him this week, how do you view yourself as an owner? He said, well, when it comes to winning, I'm not very good. That's the dumbest quote. That's the worst quote I've ever heard. So he bought the team in 2000. Okay, so it's been this is 25 years. They're 170 and 240 as a team.
Okay? 170 and 240.
Yeah, which is actually better than I thought. To be honest with you, I'm not even trying to be funny. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. I really did. So it's 25 years. They have 6 playoff appearances, none since 2010, by the way.
Yeah.
15 years, longest drought in all of sports.
All of sports.
Longest playoff drought in all sports. He has gone through 9 head coaches and 8 general managers.
Ooh.
Dude, you are the problem. Take a look in the mirror and get out of the way. I'm so done with this dude. Like, I don't ever want to hear him talk again.
Oh, man.
So I don't know how you could have missed it last week. Mm-hmm. If you are a sports fan, you probably heard it. He was at, I think, the mid-year meetings in New York, all the owners' meetings, and was asked about the team and them being 0-7 and all the usual questions that you should expect as an 0-7 team. Quite frankly, do they have a media team, by the way, that prepares him for this? Do they have somebody that tells you, hey, Woody, this is what you should say, and this is what you should not say? Clearly not.
Well, if they do, he's probably ignoring it.
Oh my God. He said, I'm this is not a direct quote, but it's pretty damn close. Uh-huh. Well, when you have a quarterback that can't complete a pass, you're gonna struggle.
Right.
Can't complete a pass.
Oy.
And and has a QBR the way that ours does. Mind you, it was already up in the air whether they were going to start Fields or start Tyrod Taylor. So that is an overwhelming sign that your owner does not want Justin Fields to start. Right. So everybody's like, oh, it's going to be Tyrod Taylor. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor this week. And then per Jets, he is injured.
Per Jets.
And Justin Fields has to start.
Yep.
The guy that the owner apparently hates. Why would you put that out there? How do you, as Woody Johnson, go into the locker room after this game and give him a high five and say, dude, nice job? How do you do that? When you clearly don't even think the guy is good enough to complete a pass. Dude, shut up. I am so sick of him.
Yeah.
He's horrible. They are going to be a dumpster fire as long as he isn't as the owner. Woody, please sell the team, dude.
Sell the team,
I'm
Woody.
so done with you. I'm so done. Like you can't be taken seriously as an owner, as anybody who's intelligent, really. As the the comments about Fields, like really, that was the last straw for me. Like, all the things about firing Saleh and how his kids were allegedly telling him who to sign, who not to draft based off of Madden ratings. I mean, take your pick. That article came out last year about how they were legitimately using Madden ratings as to who they were going to draft or not draft or trade for or this, that, and the other. So that's bad enough, right? I overlooked it. I got over it. I'm just done. Like, he's trash. He's garbage. Get out of here.
Get out of here, Woody.
Go. Sell the team. Give it to your son. Give it to somebody. I will do a better job, Woody.
Give it to Nick.
I will do a better job, Woody. I'm just shut up and leave, dude. Please.
Oh, I didn't expect the rant. I'll tell you that. Was that your second overreaction?
That was.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that Woody Johnson is the worst owner in all of sports.
It didn't sound like an overreaction. It sounded like straight from the heart. Oh, man.
Straight from somewhere.
Straight from somewhere.
I'm fired up.
Oh, look at you go.
Oh, I can't stand him. I can't stand him.
Oh,
dude,
man.
Jets fans are miserable. Absolutely miserable. We're the most miserable human beings that there are as Jets fans. And it's because of him.
Oh.
Like, dude, you're 0-7. Your quarterback is not the problem. It's not the only problem.
Right.
How about that?
Right.
There are a million holes. If you're 0-7, your team sucks. And it's not just because of your quarterback. I mean, you can't go through that many head coaches, that many GMs, not make the playoffs in 15 years, and not take a look in the mirror, Woody.
Yeah.
You're horrible.
Right. I mean, the more he talks, I'll just say it from an outsider perspective. The more he talks, the more unattractive the franchise becomes to, any actual, promising head coach, soon to be head coaches or coordinators. Because all of a sudden, it's like you're going to get called out by your owner in front of the public, in front of the media, and everyone's just going to have a hoopla about it. And then you're going to have to answer 500 questions the following week about it. No one wants to go through that. No, there's no quarterback, there's no player, there's no coach that wants to go through that. And the more he talks, the more unattractive the Jets become as a franchise.
So, and you bring up a great point, and I'm really curious, and we'll never know the answer to this, but hypothetically, if Aaron Glenn didn't get drafted by the Jets, didn't want to be the Jets head coach, who would they have gotten as their head coach? Right? Because Glenn was one of the hot candidates this year, and they landed him because he got drafted by the Jets. He grew up as a Jet. He was 2 quarters away from making the Super Bowl as a Jet in '98. Says that he owes them, blah, 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 right? He's very outspoken. He loves the Jets. If he didn't have that tie to them, who would they have gotten? They would have ended up with Kellen Moore. No disrespect. I mean, they would have been the team to settle for Joe Schmo from Idaho coaching their team. And it's because of him.
I mean, the Saints are in no better position either.
Right. That's my point.
And that's the thing. That's kind of how I ended up with I mean, I think they had the first job opening last year and the last one to fill it in. I mean, there's all sorts of obstacles with going on with the Saints and how attractive they're or non-attractive their situation is. Obviously, Mick Loomis has been there a very long time. I'm not sure how much of a pull he has. Gail Benson, is the owner there. You don't hear too much from her, so I'm not sure how much behind the scenes she is, or she just gives all the power to Mickey Loomis in
As
general.
an owner should.
Yeah.
As an owner should. You have people, you pay them millions upon millions of dollars to run your team.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
Right. Yep. I mean, we can take a look at the new owner for Indianapolis. Her name escapes me right now.
Yeah.
Ursay Gordon.
Yeah.
But I can't
The
remember.
daughter.
The daughter
Yeah.
of Jim Ursay. I mean, I don't really feel like she's intruding on anyone's space or really doing anything like to step on anyone's toes. I think she's just trying to view it and understand.
She's trying
it.
to learn.
Yeah,
and I think that kudos to her
Yeah.
for being willing to be vulnerable and saying, hey, I'm the owner of this team. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
I want to put a headset on and learn.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I got zero issue with that. She's not,
Yeah.
she doesn't have the headset on calling plays.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
she's listening. She's taking notes. She's trying to know what she needs to know as an owner.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Absolutely not.
And I think kudos to her.
Yeah.
But like, look at Washington, right? They were a dumpster fire. What was it, Dan Snyder?
Dan Snyder.
I mean, you know, everybody knows about Dan Snyder. Horrible human being, horrible owner. Washington was terrible for a decade plus.
Yeah.
Right. They sell the team. They make the playoffs. Was it the first year with Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels?
Yeah.
First year as an ownership group, maybe the second. They're in the playoffs. They're relevant now. Robert Kraft, best owner in the NFL, arguably in sports. Do you ever hear that dude talk?
Not really.
No. Woody, shut up. I'm so annoyed.
Yes. Vocal owners is a very, it's mainly negative. If you have a vocal owner, I can 90% of the time it's probably negative. And that's the problem when it comes to, I mean, obviously you have a lot of money. You have a lot of say in terms of what happens with your team. But at the same time, that has a reflection as you as a brand, to be honest with you, and as a destination for the players and for coaches. And honestly, right now, Woody Johnson is doing himself absolutely no favors
Yeah.
to make this team any better in the future.
And one last thing on this. Dude, Justin Fields, kudos to you, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I gained so much respect for him yesterday, specifically after the game. Say what you want about Justin Fields, right? He's got questionable talent. Is he the quarterback of the future? I don't think so.
Right.
But he is a solid dude. Very humble, very vulnerable yesterday. Talking about how he was in his closet crying, just battling different spiritual stuff. Very open about his faith, which obviously I love that. And he flat out said, like, yeah, he's the owner of the team, but he's not in this locker room. That's outside noise. and there's no better way to shut that dude up than to play the way that he did yesterday.
Right.
So kudos to Justin Fields, and I hope I never hear Woody Johnson talk again. Sell the team.
Perfect.
All right, where are we? Are we done with overreactions?
I
Is that
believe
it?
we are. That's
All right.
it.
Oh, God, I'm sweating, man. I'm all fired up.
That felt more like a reaction rather than an
Gosh.
overreaction.
Coming off a win, too.
Yeah. Look at you, all
Golly.
heated.
All sorts of emotions. All right, power rankings. You can go. I need to calm down.
Oh, power ranking. I got number one. I still got the Colts. I feel like we haven't talked enough about Jonathan Taylor in the season he's putting up. My fantasy team is enjoying his season right now. I mean,
You're gonna trade him to me, right?
absolutely not. Stay tuned. Absolutely not. But I mean, there might be a legitimate shot that he has a chance to break LT's touchdown record. I mean, if he keeps putting up 3 touchdowns every game, I mean, and again, kudos to that offensive line, because that is a magnificent offensive line that's just overpowering any sort of defensive front that's getting thrown at them. Like, I've seen some of the holes in the tape that these guys are creating for Jonathan Taylor. Give Jonathan Taylor that much room and that much space with his, his back to form resurgence. Jonathan Taylor has just been magnificent. And then on top of that, Daniel Jones slinging the dimes as much as he has this year. Indy has a formula and it's working.
Yeah, it's funny. So last week I had a whole segment about how Christian McCaffrey could be the MVP.
Yeah.
And we put that clip out on social media, and rightfully so, got a ton of people that said, like, look, he's having a great year, but if any non-quarterback is going to win the MVP this year, it's going to be Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
And they're right. I don't know what I was thinking, to be quite honest. Having an amazing year. Offensive line is a big part of it, and it's funny you said that because we haven't brought this quote up, and maybe you haven't even seen it, but this was the offseason where Daniel Jones got cut from the Giants.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley said, this is when he was still on the team, give Daniel Jones a good offensive line, and he's a number one quarterback in this league. Dude, look at him.
Yep.
He couldn't have been more right.
Flourishing.
Couldn't have been more right. I read today they're already working on an extension.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
So, I mean, I'm good for him. Good
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Jonathan
absolutely.
Taylor. Good for Daniel Jones. Good for the Colts.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Shane Steichen, way to go.
Yeah.
And
Coach of the year.
Coach for me, absolutely. Honestly, 7-1. I feel like no one really gave him the chance.
And they're a dominant
Yeah.
7-1. Like, they're beating the teams they're supposed to beat. They're crushing the bad teams that they're supposed to crush.
Yeah, there's no lapses
Yeah.
or no flukes or anything that that you expect, like kind of a surprise team to kind of have. But the Colts are just dominating in all facets. There's just no real weakness that is very apparent for that team right now. And honestly, kudos to them. They're number one in my power rankings, and they look to stay there for a while. I mean, honestly, none of my previous 5 from last week lost, so it's pretty stand pat. I mean, number 2, I still got the Pats. They put another dominant performance over the Browns.
I forgot you had the Patriots in your top 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope, they're 6-2. The Bucks, they won. Beat down my Saints, so that's all right. But they're number 3, stayed there. Number 4, the Broncos. They showed exactly like the team that I feel like they are and they can be, and what can drive them to a Super Bowl run, and that's how I kind of imagine them when I picked them as my little dark horse over in the AFC. So this is the Broncos team that I envisioned to be there. Obviously, Dallas's defense isn't really anything to write home about, but I mean, if the Broncos can string along some offensive outbursts like that, they're going to be a tough out come January.
I feel like the Broncos for me are going to be a team that even right up to the Super Bowl, I'm just not in on. like the Eagles were for me last year. Like, it took so long for me to get on board, and I really wasn't even on board right up to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I need to see them rattle it off like 3 or 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
And like, not, granted this week wasn't in comeback fashion, but against the Eagles it was, against the Giants it really was. Like, be a little consistent.
Right.
For me personally.
Yeah, absolutely. And then number 5, I got I had the Rams last week, but they were on bye. But I have the Packers moving
You
up.
took them off after a bye?
Yeah, I kind of.
Gosh, that's rough.
Yeah, I kind of had to. I mean, the Packers are 5-1-1. I mean, the Rams would probably be at 6 if I would go down that far. But I felt like the Packers. Only having 1 loss, they kind of are forcing my hand to be up there. So that's where I'm at with the Packers.
All right. Love it.
Yep.
So I kind of changed up my philosophy this week. My power rankings were like last week and even a few weeks prior, like long term of like who I think is really going to make an impact. Like, for example, I had Kansas City over the Colts because of, they were the biggest threat to Buffalo.
Right.
I kind of scrapped that whole thing because I just didn't feel good about it anymore.
Right.
So number 1, the Colts are number 1 for me.
Ooh,
They got the bump up to number 1. They're the best team in the league.
Yeah.
Like all the things we already talked about. Don't really see a flaw with them or something that makes me pause.
Yeah.
Number 2, I still have Tampa Bay. Love me some Tampa Bay, some Baker Mayfield. Weird game yesterday. Like, Baker didn't really have to do anything because the Bucs defense did all they needed to do against the Saints.
Yeah, it was kind of like one of those divisional slugfests.
It was. Typical divisional game that just was weird.
Yeah.
So 2, Tampa Bay 2, 3, Green Bay. I think that we're not talking about Green Bay enough. Especially Christian Watson came back yesterday. Tucker Kraft had a phenomenal game. Josh Jacobs, when's the last time that dude hasn't scored a touchdown? I legitimately think it dates back to last year.
Probably, yeah.
And then Jordan Love, if he plays the way that he did last night, they're a scary, scary team.
Yeah.
So Green Bay's number 3 for me. I still have the Saints the
Saints.
I got the Saints number 4 and the Jets number 5. Come at me. No. Excuse me, the Chiefs. The Chiefs number 4. Very similar teams. You can see how I would make that mistake.
Spencer Rattler and Mahomes look kind of similar.
Yeah, for sure. With the hair.
With the hair, exactly.
Excuse me. So Kansas City number 4, still, and then I have Buffalo number 5. So
that was about a walk-off set. Like I'm a big old Saints fan, but man, even I can't do that.
Oh God, can you imagine if we didn't catch that and people listening to this would be like, what is he talking about? What an idiot. Oh gosh, we would have lost so many subscribers. So Kansas City, not the Saints.
Not the Saints.
Number 4, Buffalo number 5. So I think it's all the same teams if I remember correctly. I just drastically, it is. I just completely changed up my order.
Okay, the philosophy of it.
Yep.
Okay.
So same top 5, just different order.
Yeah.
All right. Our best segment of the show. We'll wrap up with our picks. I am nothing but consistent.
Yeah.
I went 1 and 2 again last week.
Okay.
So just as a reminder of what I did. What I did. I picked the Bucks over the Saints as my lock.
Okay.
They had to beat them by 5.5.
Okay.
They definitely did.
Yep.
I picked the Cowboys over the Broncos. That did not happen. And then our game of the week, I thought there was no way that Aaron Rodgers was going to lose to his former team.
Yeah.
And I was wrong.
Yeah.
So I went 1 and 2.
Yeah, that kind of scared me, that whole, storyline of Rodgers trying to be the, 5th quarterback to beat all 32 teams in the league. But thankfully for me, that did not happen. I went 2 and 1, so I'm on a heater. Look at me go. For my lock, I had the Pats over the Browns at 6.5. They more than well covered that spread. My upset was the Niners over the Texans. Obviously, that didn't happen. And then the game of the week, I had the Packers over the Steelers. So
Okay.
2 and 1.
All right. So honestly, I feel like the options sucked this week. I'm not going to lie. So my lock, I'm taking the Jags over the Raiders. Jags got to win by 4 or more. They're minus 3.5. Feel really good about that. Both teams coming off of a bye, but the Jags are just way better. To be honest. So,
That's my logic.
So, they're a better team.
Way to go, insight.
The Raiders suck. So that's my pick there. My upset, I'm taking the Bengals at home over the Bears. Bears are favored by 2.5.
The Bears are another confusing team.
The
to
Bears I think are major frauds.
Yeah.
And you know what I thought about doing, but I didn't do? I thought about grouping Caleb Williams in with my Cam Ward story. I'm just not on the Caleb Williams train either. I
former number 1 overall pick.
Number 1 overall pick. Yep. So, time will tell, but I am not a believer in the Bears whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Bengals over the Bears. I think the Bengals are at home. As crazy as it sounds, they still have a shot if they could somehow hold it down till, maybe December, maybe the playoffs, Joe Burrow, maybe not, who knows. But they still have a shot with the Steelers playing, they've lost 2 in a row now. The Ravens, who knows what's going to happen there. That division, to me personally, is still wide open.
Right.
So the Bengals, I think, have something to play for. And then our game of the week, this should come as no surprise. It's going to be the Chiefs at the Bills. Probably the most meaningless game, honestly.
You think so?
I do, because of the thing we talked about last year. This game doesn't matter. Show me in January.
The Bills always win in the regular season.
Bills always win. I actually think the Chiefs are going to win.
Oh, you think the Chiefs are
winning?
winning?
The Chiefs are going to go into Buffalo and beat the Bills. I really do. Partly because I think that Ed Oliver injury is huge. And I don't know. I think it's crazy to say that I didn't love what I saw from the Bills yesterday, considering they won 40-9.
Right.
But that combined with their last 2 games, obviously both losses, I'm a little shaky on the Bills right now. I never thought I'd say that after the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I think the Chiefs are going to knock them off next week.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because the Bills are your Super Bowl pick, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Bills over the Eagles as my Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, for me, my lock is the Colts over the Steelers. I think the Colts are just dominating way too much, and as we talked about, I feel like the Steelers are kind of showing themselves as a true fraud. To be honest with you, the Colts have a -3 or a 3-point spread, so they have to cover by 3. I think that's more than doable for the Colts, especially the way they've been dominating. My upset: Giants over the Niners. So
Wow.
2.5. Niners are favored. I feel like Jackson Dart, especially coming out of an emotional game,
Yeah,
where you
that's what I'm
lose.
worried about. I thought about picking that game,
Yeah.
but I'm like they lost one of their emotional leaders, which is crazy to say about a rookie. Side
Yeah.
note.
Yeah,
That's what scared me.
Yeah, it's a lot of electricity that they lost with the Scatterboo, but I feel like this could be one of those games where Jackson Dart puts the team on his back and kind of gives the fan base another reason to feel some hope for in the future. So I got the Giants over the Niners. We'll see where that goes. It's in New York, so a West Coast team going east. So, and then game of the week, I actually have the Bills over the Chiefs.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
So I'm sticking with the formula of Bills over the Chiefs during the regular season, and then showing what you got in the playoffs. So
What just happened in this game?
what happened?
What you got?
Is that Devo?
Oh, it bounced off of his face mask.
Oof.
Oh, does that count as an interception for Mariota?
Only if it's forward.
Yes, I think it was.
Then again, if it's backwards, isn't it a fumble?
A fumble.
Off Mariota?
Yeah, I think either way.
Either way, I think those things are
Minus 2 points.
Yeah,
all
but
right.
this will test out James Cook and that
For sure.
rushing
sure.
offense for the Bills. If they can pass the Chiefs' defensive front, I feel like this can bode well for the Bills moving forward.
Yeah, I wish I could feel like this game actually means something. I do. I really do. But like we talked about it at length last year, and sure enough, it proved to be the case in the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
the Bills always find a way to beat them in the regular season, and they always find a way to lose in the playoffs.
Nope.
So until that happens, I'll be excited. I will be watching this game. Do not get me wrong. But if the Bills win, don't think I'm all of a sudden gonna be like, man, they are so much better than the Chiefs.
Yep. they're
Nope,
Clear way. Yep. No.
not a shot.
Right.
We'll see. It's gonna be. I just hope it's a great game. I love watching these two teams play against
Oh
each
yeah.
other.
It's never a blowout.
No,
It's always
It's
competitive.
always a good game. Jim
Yep.
Nance, Tony Romo. I'm pretty sure CBS is gonna be here for it. In Buffalo, I'm saying doing the show from there, so that's always cool. So great game.
Yep.
Great game. All right, that'll do it. Hope you guys enjoyed and enjoyed my rant that I wasn't planning on.
Took me by surprise.
Yeah, I was not planning on that, but it just gets me so. If I think about it again, I might do another one. But we will see you guys next week. I will wear my Jet stuff again next week because they will not lose next week. I guarantee you they will not lose. God, that's such a good feeling.
Lucky you.
I know.
That's already twice as
Who
many
the
times
Saints
as
got?
I use.
Oh, the Rams.
And we had the Rams.
Sorry, buddy.
Stafford. Stafford has her number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Well, we'll see you guys next week. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah. Sell the team, Woody.
Yeah, sell the team, Woody.
Sell the team.
We want to hear from you. Stir up some conversation or controversy and reach out to us on our social media platforms to add to the weekly conversations.